Okay, hello everybody. This video will show you how to use the library databases to create a reference page that is appropriately formatted. So the first thing that you're going to do is click Library Services. And here in Library Services, you're going to find EBSCO Discovery Service. This is where we're going to go to find books, ebooks, and journal articles. And for this assignment, you have to find books/ebooks and or journal articles. So this is where we're going to start. So first thing, you're going to come in here and you can see I've already started researching. You obviously need to search for a topic that your instructor has approved. So for now, we're going to keep it pretty general and go with early childhood education and hit enter. And coming up here, you're going to see that there are almost 1 million resources, and that's a lot for you to go through. So the first thing that you want to do is come over here on the left and make sure that full text is engaged, which it is. And the second thing is you're going to change the publication date to 2009. In research, the general accepted date range is about 10 years. So you want to make it 2009 to 2019. And you're going to find some of these sources. Now you'll see, for example, that here, this is a book that you can find in the library stacks. And that's awesome if that's what you need. But for now, we're going to scroll down and we're going to look for a journal article. And here we find a journal article. This looks like from the Education Policy Archives. And we would find that in the ERIC database. And you can see here that it's an academic journal. So because this is just practice, we're going to click on this article. And this is what comes up. Obviously, the author is here, the source, where it comes from, the volume number, and the issue number, the date that it was published, and how many pages it is. If you'd like to go ahead and get the full text for this article, you can do it by clicking on this link, and that will take you to ERIC. And because Harcum is part of or is paying for this database, you'll have full access to it. Now, the important part for us is going to come over on this side. And over here, you'll see a number of tool buttons. And first one is Google Drive. You can add this to your Google Drive. You can also sign in and add it to a folder, though I don't really recommend that because I've lost many an article because I saved it but didn't actually sign in. So it's easier to go to your Google Drive. You can also print it, but like we talked about, this article is 46 pages long, so that can be a lot of pages that you might waste later. I recommend always emailing it to yourself, and we're going to come back to that in a minute. You can save this article right to your computer, which is great if you don't want to save it to your Google Drive. But for the purposes of this assignment, the Cite button is the button that we want. So you're going to go ahead and click Cite. And here you'll notice the citation formats, and it starts with ABNT and the AMA. And obviously we are citing in APA format. That's the American Psychological Association. So we scroll down and you'll find here, here we go. It gives us the entire citation. So you are going to copy this citation, and I've already created a Google Doc for us. And all you're going to do is paste it. But I want you to notice that it has sort of this highlight to it. You need to take that highlight off, and you're going to do that by highlighting what you've just pasted and come up here where it says highlight color, and you're going to click None. Now, all of your citations might not do this, but some of them might, so you just need to know how to do it. And again, I just came up to highlight color and clicked None. I also want to make sure that I'm putting this in Times New Roman and that it's in 12-point font. While I've got it highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and change the spacing because it needs to be double spaced. So it's still highlighted. I've come up to spacing and I'm going to click double. You've also probably noticed that there is no hanging indent, and the hanging indent is a requirement in APA as well as many other formats. So to get that in Google Docs specifically, there are a couple different ways in Word, but we're going to focus on Google Docs today. So I have my cursor right here on the second line, and I hit Tab. And you'll notice that the top line goes over. You're like, okay. So I come back to the second one, and I hit Tab again. And you notice that all of the lines have indented. So it's fine. My cursor's on the top line. I'm going to hit Backspace. And it doesn't go all the way back, and that's okay. You want to play around with this bar up here. This is the ruler bar, and you'll notice there's a triangle, and you'll also notice that there is a rectangle on top of that triangle. What you need to do is grab just the rectangle, not both, and drag it until it reads 0. See that? So it started at 1/2 inch, and I dragged it over until it said 0. And there you go. You have a properly formatted citation. Now, what's missing from here is that I need to hit 1 enter and go back up, center my cursor, and type references. So if I was only using one citation, this is exactly what it would look like. One reference, there it is in APA format. But because we're practicing here, we're going to do a couple more. So we're going to go back to EBSCO, and we are going to go back to our results list. And I'm going to scroll down. Ooh, this looks fun. This is an ebook, and most of your assignments ask for a journal article and an ebook. So let's go ahead and check this one out. Early Childhood Education, History, Theory, and Practice. So we're going to click on that. And again, this is where we get all of our information about the resource. Over here, you'll notice that you can get this book in PDF full text. So that's pretty interesting. You can go ahead and click on that. It doesn't necessarily tell us how many pages it is. But obviously you could print it, or maybe down here it looks like it's about 60 pages. So if we come over to the right hand side again, you have all the same options, but again we want the Cite button. And here's the cursor that you'll use, the scroll bar, in order to scroll down to APA format. So here we go again. Remember, you need to scroll down to APA formatting. We're going to highlight just the citation, and you can right click. Oops. You can right click to copy, or you can do as I do, Control C, and we're going to go back to our practice reference page. Now I remember that the author's last name began with an M, so I'm going to make space in my reference page for Morgan, the author's last name, because remember that your reference page must be alphabetized by the first word in the citation. Okay, so I've copied it in, and I notice again, it has highlight. So we're going to select it all, come up to highlight color, click none. And you'll notice that the font is not the same. So again, I have to come over here to Times New Roman, make it size 12, and there we go. So notice a couple of things. First, there's only one space between references and the first citation. It does not look like this. And there's only one space between your citations. So it doesn't look like that. Okay, only one space. Okay, notice again, it's in alphabetical order. References is centered at the top of the page. There is no other identifying information here. You will submit this assignment with a cover page on it, and all of your identifiers will go on that page. Okay, so again, This is how to create a reference page using the Cite button in the databases. Again, I told you that I would come back to the email function, and if you come over here and click email, you can actually send yourself an email by putting in your email address, the subject, and then by coming over here and clicking citation format, use the drop-down box and click APA. And when you send it to yourself, it will send you both the full text version of the book, and then also within the body of the email, it will give you the citation, and you'll just copy and paste that. Okay, so that is how to create a reference page using the Cite button in databases.